Hello everyone, it's Rob here. Now I know you're waiting to see your Draw with Rob video, but I just thought I'd pop up very quickly at the beginning to tell you about this. It's the brand new Draw with Rob activity book and it's called Amazing Animals. And that's because it's full of loads of amazing animals. We have got some little tiny ones, like this guy. We have got some really big ones, like this guy. There are some that live in the sea. There are some that live in the sky. And of course, we have loads and loads of really cute ones too. Now, what's in the book? Well, we have puzzles galore. We have pages where I start the drawings and you guys get to finish the drawings off. There's loads of really cool colouring pages for you to enjoy. And of course, it wouldn't be a Draw with Rob book without lots of exclusive, never before seen draw-alongs, where I show you how to do the drawings over on this page here on the left, and on the right there's a nice picture frame for you to do your drawings in. And then afterwards, the pages are all perforated so you can tear them out nice and easily and pin your beautiful works of art up on the wall. And then, when you get to the end of the book, there's a certificate for you that says that you are officially an amazing animal artist. So listen, get yourself the book. It's out on the February the 17th, 2022. So you can pre-order it now from wherever you get your books. I had so much fun making this book. I really, really hope you're going to enjoy it. I think you will. So get ordering and let me know what you think. Right, I've been talking for long enough now. You want to get on with your video. I hope you've got your pencils sharpened and you're ready to go. In which case, Rob, it's over to you. See you in a minute. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Draw with Rob. With me, Rob Biddulph. There I am on the back of the original Draw with Rob activity book. Now then, where's my books? Here we go. I am an author and an illustrator. You might know me from books like this one, Blown Away, my very first picture book. All about Penguin Blue here. He goes out with his kite on a very windy day and he ends up getting blown away. What about this one? I think this is my most popular picture book. It's called Odd Dog Out, and it's all about a sausage dog who doesn't fit in with the other sausage dogs. If you haven't seen my picture books, you might have seen my very first chapter book, which is called Peanut Jones. Hang on, let me just get rid of those books. Here we go. Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City, my first novel, and I'm super proud of this book. Look, chapters, words, loads of pictures and stuff, and it's all about this little girl, Peanut Jones, who finds herself a magical pencil with which she draws a door which leads to an illustrated city here called Chroma. And it's a really fun story, if I do say so myself, so check that one out if you like nice fun adventure stories. But we are here today, as per usual, to draw a little picture together. And I'm very excited about today's drawing because we are going to draw something called an alicorn. Now, hands up who knows what an alicorn is. Well, I do now. I wasn't sure what an alicorn was, but I decided that I really liked... We did a video, it was way back, it was a long time ago now. I think it's video, hang on, I'm looking at my little list up there on the wall. Video number 18 was a unicorn. Now a unicorn, as we know, is like a horse with a horn in the middle of his forehead. Okay, that's a unicorn. And I thought, do you know what, I really fancy doing another unicorn, because the unicorn that we drew, here's a little picture of the unicorn that we drew. There he is. You can see sitting down with his little feet facing towards us. And I thought it'd be nice to draw a unicorn standing up so we can do a bit of a side view of a unicorn. Then I thought, why don't I draw a kind of a cross between a unicorn and like a winged horse, you know, like Pegasus, that famous winged horse from, I think, Greek mythology. You know, so I could draw a unicorn with wings, basically. And then I realised that a unicorn with wings is called an alicorn. And I remember somebody, because quite often when I go out on my signings and I get to meet loads of you, you all come and see me with your books and you show me all your pictures that you've done, Draw with Rob. And there was one little girl I remember who asked me if I would draw an alicorn, and suddenly it all came flooding back to me. I thought, yes, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to show you all how to draw an alicorn, so a winged unicorn. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper. You're going to need a pen. You might need something to colour with a bit later on. Just in case you haven't done one of these videos with me before, I'm going to explain how it works. Now, lots of people, they tell me they don't think they're very good at drawing. I say everybody can draw. Some people just need a little bit of help with the order that we do the drawing in, which is where I come in. So I'm going to break this drawing down into little tiny bite-sized pieces. So a little shape here, a line there, a circle there. And you're going to follow me and you're going to do exactly what I do, okay? So I will start drawing on my piece of paper. Then I will stop. You can pause the video and you can do exactly what I do, okay? Start me up again. I will draw. Pause me. You draw. I draw. 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 And at the end, hopefully, we're going to end up with lots of lovely, lovely drawings of alicorns. Got it? Easy peasy, right? Shall we start? Shall I stop talking and shall we start? Right. The first thing that I want you to do, nice and easy. Towards the top of your page, I want you to draw a short horizontal line, just a couple of centimeters long, okay? Like that. I've done mine slightly left of center. If that's the center, I've done it from the center, going out to the left a couple of centimeters, okay? Nice and easy, told ya. Then, the first thing that I want you to do, which is slightly trickier, from the right hand end of our line, I want you to come down in a sort of curve, and we're going to go off to the side like that. So the curve sort of maybe sort of slightly I don't know what, 3 times as long as the little line we did, so it looks roughly like that. Okay, then from the end of the curve here, we're going to go back on ourselves and we're going to head right back up and go to the middle of that line that we drew, the first line that we drew. Okay, then from the left hand side we're going to do another curve, but this time it's going to be much shorter. It's going to go to about there, and then from that point we're going to come back around and we're sort of going to join up again there. Okay, so 2 sort of little curvy, funny, pointy, shapy things. I'm not very articulate today, am I? Sorry about that. Okay, now, the next thing I want you to do is from about here, so level with where that one joins up to there, I want you to come down in a sort of, we're going to do this as a sort of 2 curve thing. So we're going to come down like that, and then we're going to curve back around like that. Okay, so sort of goes down and over and then around that way. I really need to work on my descriptive skills. I'm meant to be an author, guys. I'm meant to, you know, words are my tool. It's not working very well at the moment, is it? Okay. Right, so there we go. That little curve, we're going to turn around from that little curve and we're going to sort of follow it back up in a similar wavy fashion, but then we're just going to join up just below the top of that first shape that we drew. I wonder if you can tell which part of our unicorn we are drawing here. It's a little bit tricky, I don't mind telling you that. Then what I want you to do is just above here, we're going to do another little pointy curvy bit, a bit like this one, like that, but this time it's going to be much thinner, and it's just going to follow the shape of our little curvy bit up and around there, join back up with that shape. So we've basically done one curve there, one curvy shape there, one curvy shape there, a shorter, fatter one, then a long, thin, curvy shape, and then a very thin, curvy shape just in behind. Okay, that's enough with the curvy shapes for the time being. Now I want you to draw a straight line. We're going to come down from the middle of this shape here, and we're going to come down at a 45-degree angle, going down towards the bottom left of our page. And we're going to go to, let's go down about quite far. Oh, my pen's getting a bit short of ink, isn't it? We're going to go down to about there, so sort of level roughly with the bottom of that shape there, maybe a bit higher. Okay. From the bottom of this line, we're going to do a nice, smooth, sort of semicircle curve, like that. Wow, my pen's really getting short of ink. I might need to put a new cartridge in this one. These brush pens are lovely, and I do quite like it when you get that sort of, you can see the sort of brush texture in there. I always talk about this, don't I? I really like that sort of random element when you're using a brush pen, where you can see where the bristles, because some of the bristles have more ink than other bits of the bristles, so you get these little gaps and this little kind of brushy texture, because I really think it adds to the feel of the drawing. It makes your drawing feel like handcrafted, which I think is a really, really nice thing when you're doing drawings. You don't want it to be too perfect, I don't think. Okay, from the end of that curve, we're going to do another straight line parallel to this one, so going in the same direction as that one. And we're going to go up to about there. We're going to stop quite a long way short of that other shape. Okay, I think you can sort of start to see our alicorn taking shape now. Okay, now we're not going to go from the end of this line. We're going to come a bit short of the end of that line, maybe a centimetre or so, and we are going to go down in a curve, then a straight line, and then we're just going to add another little curve. So a bit like that, where there was a curve that way and then a curve that way. We're doing the same here, except we're going to go curve, straight down, curve, like that. Then from the bottom there, we are going to go straight down our page. Not too far, just to about there, I would say. Then from the end there, we are going to go, we're not going to go dead horizontally, we're going to go slightly curved, slightly rounded, like that. And then from the end of that, we're going to go straight up. Then straight across. Wow, I'm going at speed now, aren't I? Straight across, straight down. We're going to basically replicate that shape. We're going to do it again. So we're going to do another kind of curvy, horizontally sort of shape, and then go straight up. But this time we're not going to stop there. We're going to go straight up, curve around, and join up with that shape there. There we go. You're starting to see our little alicorn take shape. Of course, this bit's going to be our alicorn's nose. The first shapes that we did were our alicorn's mane, or the beginnings of our alicorn's mane. Then we did this bit here, which is the body, and we've done the 2 legs. Now, of course, alicorns, like unicorns and like horses, they have 4 legs. So we need to add 2 more legs behind. So what we're going to do, we're just going to add a little, like the end of this curve here, and a vertical line that disappears up behind the body there, and exactly the same there. So we're going to introduce a little bit of perspective to our drawing there, which makes it feel nice and sort of solid on the page. And it's these kind of details, I think, that make people think, wow, this person really knows what they're doing when it comes to drawing. Because it makes your drawing just look kind of solid and slightly three-dimensional, which I think is a really, really good thing. Right, the next thing I want you to do is we're going to go back up to the top of our page here, and I want you to draw a kind of little leaf shape. So it kind of comes up, another one of those double curvy lines, comes up, but it comes to a point, and then we turn around and we're going to go back down here, and this is going to be one of our alicorn's ears. Okay, whenever I do ears, I add a little sort of lining-y bit inside, which we're going to do like this. So it's like another leaf shape, but can you see I've just sort of, that line sort of stretches out beyond, and it just makes it, gives it a nice kind of lining-y inside of ear feel. I don't know how to describe it better than that, an ear lining feel. What am I talking about? I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Right, let's add another ear in here. So sort of next to it, we're going to do the same shape. I've slightly changed the angle, and I've made it very slightly smaller, just because that's the far ear. So in the same way that the legs are slightly smaller in the distance, so is the ear. So there we go. 2 ears for our little alicorn. Now we're going to come back up to there in a minute, but I think we should do the tail now, because the tail is one of my favourite bits. So coming out of our little alicorn's sort of this area here, let's face it, bottom, okay? We are going to draw a line that comes out horizontally and heads right down towards the floor, like that. Wow. Come on, pen, don't fail me now. And basically we're going to curve it around so it goes in a sort of nice U shape here. Right, I've got a little sketch pad here. I'm just going to see if I can get my pen to work. Let's see if that's any better. Sort of. sort of. I think for my next video I'm going to have to change this ink cartridge. It actually works quite well on the tail because I guess an Alicorn's tail is made of hair. So these little brush marks, because are basically, this brush here is made of hair, so the ink marks that it makes sort of looks a bit like hair, tail hair, doesn't it? Okay, so when we've done that, I want you to, we're going to come in like that, again in a curve, a nice sharp point, then we're going to go back out in a curve, then we're going to come back in with another curve, and then one final curve. They're sort of very slightly getting smaller each time, and then finally over the top, back towards our Alicorn's bottom. And there we go, a nice sort of swishy, pointy tail. I'm just going over it a bit to make sure I've got a nice solid line. Now in a moment, luckily, I'm going to change to a slightly thinner pen. But before I do that, I just want to add a bit more detail and a very, very important part of our Alicorn. One of the most important parts, actually, if not the most important part. In fact, let's do that now. We're going to add our Alicorn's horn. So the horn is going to come out of this area of the head, but because the mane is in front, we're going to do it kind of behind that. So what I want you to do is, from this corner here, we're going to do a sort of diagonal straight line coming up like that at an angle, going higher than the ears, like that. Then we're going to turn it around at the top. Not in a. I always do the horns with a slightly rounded end. I don't know why. Looks a bit cuter, I think. Like that. And then we're going to come back down. But remember, the horn needs to be slightly sort of wider at the bottom than the top. And it's going to come back down. It's going to disappear behind that front bit of fringe, and then reappear there. And then it will join the head behind this bit of fringe. So there we go. Our Alicorn's horn. Lovely. Let's add some more mane detail now. First thing, I want you to add another pointy bit here. So like the first two that we did, but this one's going to be even thinner, and it's just going to follow it up. The reason I've left this till now is because I wanted it to disappear behind the ears, like that. Like that. Just like that. And in fact, I'm going to add one more. It's going to have 4 of these little things. The smallest one, very thin line. There we go, just disappearing in behind there. And then up here at the top, let's add another little pointy bit there in behind that, and then a bigger one in this gap here. We left a sort of gap there, hopefully, that we can add in just another little bit of mane. So it looks like our horn is kind of in the middle of all of that hair, like that. You can even add a little bit coming over the top, just like that. There we go. Pretty good. Right, let's switch pens. My running out pen. Because now we need to give our Alicorn a face. So I have decided we're going to give our, no, I'm going to use my big pen for the eye, because we're going to do a nice big eye. And the eye is going to appear just above this sort of little crossover bit here. So we're going to do a lovely, big, round eye. Like so. There we go. I'm just going around a few times to make it nice and thick. There we go. Okay, now I can stop using that pen. Okay, and the pupil. Now our Alicorn, I've told you this little tip before. Our Alicorn is facing to the left, and if we want him or her to be looking straight at us, we need to add the pupil slightly to the right of centre, and slightly down a bit as well, I think. So, first of all, I'm going to draw a little circle like that, and then I'm going to add another little circle towards the top left hand side of that, because when you colour in around it, look, it's a little point of light in our Alicorn's pupil, which I think is a really nice touch. And there we go, it looks like he or she is looking straight at us now. Let's add some eyelashes, shall we? And no, do you know what? I'm going to add the eyelashes. No, let's add them now, because I'm going to leave my Alicorn white, I think. I'm going to add quite a few around the eye. Just lots of little lines all the way around, like that, trying to keep them quite evenly spaced. And there we go, our alicorn's eye. Little eyebrow can go up here, like that. Give it a nice pointy end. Okay, now I'm not going to add, we're going to add some detail here, but I think we should do a bit of colouring first. I'll tell you why, because sometimes if I was to draw, we're going to draw a little nostril here and a little mouth down here. If I was to draw that now and then colour over the top of it, it might smudge my pen. So sometimes when you're doing a drawing, you need to sort of plan ahead, think ahead. And because I know I'm going to add some colour there, I'm going to do the colour first and then draw on top of that, and then hopefully it won't smudge at all. So this is the really fun bit with your alicorn, because you can go crazy with the colours. Unicorns, as you know, come in a multitude of colours, I think. So I think it must be the same deal with the alicorns. So you know what? Whatever colour you want, you do it. Bright green, purple, pink, blue, red, black, white, whatever you want, you go for it. You can add colour, you can add pattern, you can add stripes, you can add spots, you can add stars, you can add whatever you like. The important thing is you have fun doing it, okay? I'm going to go into super speed mode to colour in my alicorn, as per usual. So I'm going to see you back here, 20 seconds or so, with a perfectly coloured alicorn. Okay, you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Okay, so a coloured in alicorn. Now, the eagle-eyed of you might have spotted something very important's missing. What do you think that is? Yes, the nostril. Yes, the mouth. Something else. The wings, of course. Our alicorn's wings. Very, very important. Otherwise, what we have drawn is a unicorn. So what I want you to do is, coming from behind the mane here, we are going to draw a line that kind of curves up and around. Come on, pen, don't fail me now. Like this. So a nice sort of curvy line. Comes up around. Let's change to this pen. Comes up around and goes, we're going to go up to sort of level with the middle of the ear, like that. So a nice smooth curve comes out of the back, level with the middle of the ear. Then we're going to turn around in a curve towards the right, like that. And then another curve that goes out and slightly up towards the top right hand corner of our page, like that. That's the first part of our wing. Then we're going to turn around again and head back down into here. Probably, let's go to about there, I would say. Like that. And can you see, I've done quite a sharp curve there, and as I come back, it's getting slightly wider as it gets towards this part of the wing. Okay? Then we're going to go back out, and we're going to do another one of those curves. Like so. We're going to come back, just about level with that. Like that. Guess what? I'm going to do another one. This one we're going to make slightly shorter. We're going to go to about there before we turn around and come back. Like that. Okay. Another one. Slightly shorter again. To about there. And we're going to come back. And then let's do one more for luck. Very short this time. In there. And back down. Like that. Okay. Actually, let's do one more. Why not? We've got room. Tiny one. At the bottom, like that. And they're the feathers of the wing. And then what I want you to do, we're going to curve around here. And we're just going to disappear behind our mane there. Back into the body of our alicorn. Of course our Alicorn, of course you know this, Alicorns have 2 wings, don't they? So what we're going to do is we're going to do another one, exactly the same shape, but just sort of up and to the left a bit. So can you see, I'm just following the shape around there, and following where I went, like that. That feather comes back down and in there. Then we go back out and we do that one there. And that's enough, pretty much, just to suggest the wing. We need to do the bottom bit here, just like that, coming in. And there we go, our 2 Alicorn wings. Now, the rest of the detail that you might have spotted. The nose first, the nostril. This is how I do the nostrils. We're going to start with a little circle, like that. And then if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I love to do swirly bits for the nostrils. There we go, 1 nostril. Done. And then just down here a little mouth, a nice little smiley mouth. Look at that. Suddenly our Alicorn has a lovely little personality going on. Now, colouring wise, I'm going to go back in a second. I'm going to colour my Alicorn's wings, although I'm going to leave them predominantly white. I might just add some little sort of pink, maybe I'll make them pink, little pink details here and there. Might make them the same pink as this. But just before I do that, I'll tell you exactly how I went about colouring this. So I've just added a pink nose and pink feet, but then I've done some shading here using purples and blues and pinks, because it just gives it that nice. Although you might look at this Alicorn and think the main body of the Alicorn is white, actually it's made up of pinks and blues and things, which is a nice echo for the colours that we've used in the mane and the tail and the feet and the nose. Okay, so you sort of echo those, whatever colours you use, it's quite nice to echo them in the body as well. So what I've done, I've imagined that my light's coming in from over here, so therefore there would be a bit of shadow under the sort of the fringe bit, a bit of shadow under that bit of hair, a shading, slight shading to make it look rounded on the right hand side of the nose and legs, like that, and also on the horn there. I've tried to again keep my colours harmonious, so I've used the colours that I've used in my little star pattern here, I've used them in the horn too. And blue is always a nice colour, a nice cool blue like that is a nice colour to use as a kind of shading colour here. And if you've watched my videos before, you know I particularly like this little blue here. And you know my favourite trick, the shadow, to make it look like your character is rooted on the ground. You just add a bit of that nice blue colour coming off to the sort of the sides of the feet, the areas where the feet touch the ground. I'm going to add a bit more under the tail here, because the tail probably would be casting a little bit of shadow. You just add a bit of shading like that coming off to the side, and it really helps to ground your character, sort of root them in the ground. I've got a slightly darker shade of that blue here, that sort of bluey green here, and I'm just going to make the areas right next to the feet a bit darker. And that's the real trick. That's what really makes it look like your shadow is convincing. It really gives your character a little bit of weight, and it makes it look like they're sort of standing on the ground. A little bit darker just where the tail's getting close to the ground there as well. Do you see what I mean? It really kind of, it just works, doesn't it? In fact, you can even go, I've got a third one here which is even slightly darker again. And that really again helps with the illusion of shadow. Oh, I might have that there. Let's get my light one out and just sort of soften that edge off. Like that. Okay, let me do the wings. Once I've done the wings, we're pretty much finished. I'll just go into super speed mode for a second or two to get my Alicorn's wings shaded. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So there we go. My Alicorn with the coloured in wings, gone for pinky purple again. And that's it. That's pretty much your finished Alicorn. Now one last final touch is I like to add a little bit of sort of magic, sort of pixie dust around the magical part of the Alicorn, the horn. I've done this before in my videos. What I do, if ever you want to make anything look sort of magical and sparkly, you just add lots of little stars, a few dots, some little crosses, these little sort of circles of dotted lines, like that, and it just makes it look sort of magical. It's really easy to do. A few of those sort of asterisk shapes, and you just add them in a nice sort of circle around the horn, just like that. It just makes it look lovely and magical, and really is a nice finishing touch for your drawing. Talking of finishing touches, we need to sign our picture, don't we? So here we go. Rob. Here we go. My finished signature on the drawing. And what do you think? I'm quite pleased with that. An alicorn, a flying or a winged unicorn. That was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. And do you know what? I cannot wait to see your drawings, because with all, as I said before, with all of these mythical creatures, I'm just going to add a bit of shading here. Sometimes I like to do that with the pen afterwards. Just a few little lines in the darkest areas of our drawing. It just helps a little tiny bit with the depth. Just a little bit here and there. Just with the very, very darkest kind of areas. Yeah, the great thing about drawing these mythical characters is, you know, there aren't any rules at all as to what they look like. And I always say that, don't I? Even if you're drawing like a lion or a tiger, I always say, you know, go for it with colours, do whatever you like. But I think that's even more a thing with these mythical creatures, because mine's quite kind of pink. Maybe you don't like pink, I don't know. But your alicorn could be covered in, you know, green and blue stripes, or like a camouflage pattern, or blue with yellow stars all over it. Anything you like. So I'm really hoping that when you send me your drawings, which I'll tell you how to do that in a minute, I hope that I get to see a whole rainbow of alicorn drawings, all different colours, all different patterns. That's what I really, really love to see, where everyone goes off on their own tangent and does their own thing, because that is the beauty of art, isn't it? You can't help but put a bit of yourself into your drawing, because we all have different tastes, we all have different things we like, and when you're doing a drawing, you put bits of those things you like into your drawing, so it really is a representation of you on your piece of paper, and that is the beauty of art. That's what I love about it, so I can't wait to see your drawings. So how do I see your drawings? Well, the best way is to get your grown-up to take a picture of your drawing and then post it on social media using this hashtag, the Draw with Rob hashtag. That's the best way that I will get to see it. Or if you're watching on Facebook, you can just comment below and paste a picture of your picture in the comments below. That way I'll get to see them, and then I'm going to make up a grid of all, like we'll do a random selection of your drawings and put a grid up at the end of the week. That would be fabulous. I can't wait to see your drawings. As I say, I always love seeing your drawings. Right, what else can I tell you? Yes, subscribe to my newsletter. Go onto my website, robbidolf.com/news. There's a little thing where you can sign up to my newsletter, and that's the best way to get the latest news of everything to do with me and my stuff. So when a new video is coming out, a new Draw with Rob video, or when a new book's coming out, or when I'm going to be appearing live at an event on stage somewhere near you, so you can come along and meet me afterwards and I can sign your book and you can show me all your drawings. I love doing that. So subscribe to my newsletter. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, of course. That way, I think if you turn notifications on, that way you get a little alert when a new video comes out. And I'm going to be back very soon with another new Draw with Rob video. I hope you've had fun today. I certainly have. Take care, everyone. Keep on drawing, keep on reading, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.